The two LA deputies shot in the head are expected to survive. One is a 31-year-old mother of a young child, the other a 24-year-old man. The officers had been sitting in their car in Compton Saturday night when a man or something attempted to assassinate them. The scum is still on the loose. If this were any other type of victim, not police, this would be the time that the media would talk about climate. We've created a climate of hate and intolerance where horrible attacks against this group are possible. It's a climate where certain people are hunted because of who they are. It's a climate that fosters oppression. But the victims are police, so you don't hear that, even if it's true. Instead, you get an embarrassment of crickets from the media and, of course, those protesters at the hospital jeering the victims. Class acts all. And, of course, Biden calling for gun control. But after his campaign championed paying bail of a would-be cop killer and other violent scum, maybe he should sit this one out. What I'd like to hear, Democrats bravely saying, hey, you know what? Demonizing cops leads nowhere good. Or anchors bravely saying, this is what happens when you redefine violence as protests. First you point a laser, then you throw a Molotov, and then you kill. Maybe it's time to end this. I'd like to hear someone point out that the denial of rampant violence and the complicit silence of leaders as the chaos spread made this possible. Maybe demonization is demonic. We don't like to hear that, but this happened to cops, so never mind. How about the NFL? That was some game. Did you kneel? Dagan, when I first saw on Twitter, it was from the police, the LA County Sheriff's Twitter, about the protesters shouting that they wanted the cops to die and blocking the entrance of the hospital. I did not believe it. In fact, I thought it had to be a hoax. And I'm still like, I guess I still cannot believe it. I'm in denial. But it came from the sheriff's office, and there were press there. It's insane.
It leaves a lump in my throat even hearing you say that. And I just kept thinking over and over, how did we get here as a nation? Mm-hmm. Because it was, remember, it's President Trump who was supposed to give rise to this horrific dystopia in the United States, this dictator, this authoritarian figure. And instead, it's the left-wing anti-cop movement, and it didn't just start recently. I just want to mention these two names, Wenjin Liu and Rafael Ramos, the two officers executed here in New York City by someone who took their own life. This was back in 2014. An officer here was stabbed in the neck in Flatbush just a few months ago.
The 5 officers in Dallas. Do you remember that?
Right, exactly. So it's the lack of pushback by the left. I will use a phrase I've heard people on the left say. Silence is accepting the unacceptable. You know what? Last year it was water being thrown at cops. This year it's cement and water bottles. What's next? This kind of violence.
Dana, do you think that there is a link between this kind of violent rhetoric and the actual violence?
Well, you know, I hope that we find out some specifics here. They have offered a $100,000 reward for information leading to the perpetrator. That should hopefully pry loose some things. I mean, you could imagine that there perhaps is a gang warfare thing going on here, some sort of a dare, or maybe it's an individual that acted alone. Like, it's hard to say on that score. But this is what I've noticed. Do you realize, Greg, and you probably do, but I've noticed it, that there is not a week that has gone by in the last several weeks, maybe 3 months, that you have not done a monologue on exactly this. And you're not repeating the same story over and over. There are new stories that have to be tackled every single week. I don't understand the depravity of somebody that would jeer the victims at a hospital. And, you know, that's where, you know, law enforcement can help, but that's also something much, much deeper.
Yeah. Juan, what are your thoughts?
That is something that goes to the hearts.
Yeah. Juan, what are your thoughts?
Well, to me, this is a despicable act, Greg, that should be condemned by all, and so far it has been condemned by all. You hear President Trump, you hear Vice President Biden, both were quick to come out and say You can't have this kind of behavior in a civil society. It is unacceptable, it is wrong, and it's crazy. It shouldn't be happening. I think that's pretty clear. I think what's also clear is that President Trump's campaign, and we know this because of what Kellyanne Conway said long ago, tries to exploit these kind of events to undermine the whole notion of a racial justice movement, of a movement towards police reform somehow now. Oh, you can't say that. You know, the reality, though, is that the president's effort at this kind of law and order rhetoric is not paying off. And, you know, the polls are pretty clear. We have a poll out today from Monmouth, and it says 52% of Americans think Biden would be better at law and order than President Trump. And 61% say Trump actually made the protests more violent, made them worse. You know, you don't hear Trump ever say, you know what, that guy that in Kenosha that came out there with that gun and killed 2 people, he was a bad guy. Never heard it. Trump never said a word about the Boogaloo boy who killed that security guard at a federal building in Oakland. Never said a word. And even in Los Angeles, it's hard for us to stop given the horror of shooting these 2 policemen, but you got to put it in the context, which is that about 2 weeks ago, a young man named Dijon Kinsey, 29, who was riding a bicycle erratically, was stopped by cops, dropped a bunch of clothes, a gun was in the clothes, and then he was shot to death. And I think there's been a lot of protest in LA, a lot of anger over that shooting. It doesn't justify what just took place. That's inexcusable, but that's the whole story.
So that's the whole story. Thanks, Juan. So now we know that this shooting at 5:23, it only took you a few minutes to connect it to Trump. So somehow Trump is responsible for elevating the fury of these protests, somehow leading to this. Got it. Jesse, last word.
I would say Juan said that it's Donald Trump undermining the cause for racial justice. Not the guy that shot the cops in cold blood. It's the president for talking about the guy that shot the cops in cold blood. He's the bad guy. Got it, Juan. Here's the thing. The president can't be fanning the flames of this kind of violence when it's the Democratic Party that has over the whole summer said that police departments are systemically racist and they're hunting down innocent, unarmed black people. I mean, we talked about the climate. It was the same climate where the guy was a sympathizer with the new Black Panther Party in Dallas, sniping off white police officers. The climate, the Black Lives Matter sympathizer executed the NYPD cops. We've seen footage all summer of Democrats throwing rocks and bottles at police officers, lighting their precincts on fire, and shooting lasers and fireworks in their faces. And Joe Biden comes out with a statement that says violence of all kinds needs to be condemned. What do you mean of all kinds, Joe? Because I kind of got the feeling all summer that certain types of violence was okay with you.
Right.